Welcome to my Learn English YouTube channel. Before we begin today's session, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this.
Hey everyone, ready to dive into a topic that can truly transform your days. We're going to be talking about morning routines, specifically how to make yours work for you even if you aren't, like me, a morning person.
Yeah, mornings can be tough, but they really do set the stage for the whole day, don't they?
Totally. And we've got a great guide for this exploration, actually. We're going to be taking a deep dive into Mel Robbins' $1,000,000 morning concept, which she outlines in her YouTube video, Do This Every Morning: How to Feel Energized, Focused, and in Control.
I love Mel Robbins. She's got such practical, actionable advice.
For sure. So we'll be looking at the science behind why mornings matter so much, plus practical tips we can all start using right away. Have you ever noticed how even small changes to your morning routine can make a huge difference?
Huge. I mean, it's amazing how those first few hours can kind of set the tone for everything that comes after.
Right. It's like a domino effect almost. Speaking of which, Mel Robbins uses that exact analogy, the domino effect, to describe morning routines.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. She talks about how the morning routine is like that first domino, and getting it right can trigger a whole cascade of positive outcomes throughout the day.
Exactly. And she starts out by talking about this interesting distinction between thinkers and doers.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you?
Interesting question. Do you think most people lean more one way or the other?
Probably. I'm definitely more a thinker, always planning and strategizing, but sometimes struggling to, actually put those plans into action.
Ah, the classic overthinking trap. I think a lot of us can relate to that. It's that balance, right, between thinking and doing.
Totally. And I think that's part of why Mel Robbins emphasizes finding that balance in our morning routines, too.
Yeah,
Like, it's about aligning our choices with the person we want to become, not just who we are right now.
exactly. Setting ourselves up for success, basically.
Right. It's like that saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, but for our entire day.
Love that. And the quality of that first domino, the intentionality behind the morning routine really impacts everything that follows, too.
It really does. Like our mood, productivity, even how resilient we feel when we face challenges later in the day.
Oh, yeah, you can totally tell the difference. Like when I've had a rushed and chaotic morning, I just feel scattered and behind all day.
I know exactly what you mean. But when I actually take, even just 15 minutes to kind of ground myself in the morning, it makes a world of difference.
It's like you've given yourself a superpower or something.
Totally. And, one thing I appreciate about Mel Robbins is that she's so relatable in this video. She talks about her own struggles with things like hitting the snooze button and procrastinating.
Which, let's be real, we've all been there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Countless times I've hit snooze and been like, just 5 more minutes. But Mel Robbins points out that those seemingly small choices, like hitting snooze, can actually be a sign of a deeper pattern of self-sabotage.
That's such a good point. It's like those little choices are revealing something deeper about our beliefs and habits.
Right. It's about becoming aware of those patterns and then making a conscious choice to break free from them.
And that's where her famous 5-second rule comes in, right? Have you ever tried using that to jumpstart your day?
I have. It's so simple, but can be surprisingly effective. It's almost like you're hacking your brain to get things done before it realizes what's happening.
Totally.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What's your go-to way to use it?
So when my alarm goes off, and my brain is screaming 5 more minutes, I'll start counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just fling myself out of bed before I can overthink it.
That's so smart, and it ties in perfectly with the whole science of sleep inertia, which Mel Robbins explains in the video.
Oh yeah. Sleep inertia, that's that groggy feeling you get after hitting snooze, right?
Exactly. And it turns out hitting snooze actually makes you more tired because it messes with your natural sleep cycles.
Really? I always thought it was just like the lack of sleep itself.
Well, that too, of course. But each time you fall back asleep, you're starting a new sleep cycle, only to be rudely awakened a few minutes later. So you end up stuck in that groggy state, making it even harder to feel alert and focused.
Oh, that makes so much sense. And it's robbing us of that prime productivity time, too.
Totally. I've read that those first 2 hours of the day are when our brains are at their peak performance.
So if you're hitting snooze for even 30 minutes, you're missing out on a big chunk of that prime mental real estate. No wonder we feel so sluggish.
For real. All right, so this next tip from Mel Robbins actually surprised me at first. She's a big advocate for making your bed every morning.
Even when you're staying in a hotel.
Yep. Even then, at first I was like, really? Making the bed? But she explained her reasoning, and it actually makes a lot of sense.
I can see that. It seems like such a small thing, but there's probably a lot more to it.
There is. She talks about the psychological benefits, like how it creates a sense of order and accomplishment, even if it's just a small one.
Right, and it makes your bedroom feel more like a place of intention and productivity rather than just a place of rest.
Exactly. It sends a signal to your brain. Okay, time to start the day.
It's like you're closing the chapter on sleep and opening a new one for the day.
Totally. It's also a subtle act of self-care too, you know? Like you're showing yourself that you value your space and want to create a nice environment.
Oh, for sure. I always feel so much better when my surroundings are tidy and organized.
Me too. And there's actually research that backs that up. Clutter can increase stress and anxiety, while a clean and organized space promotes feelings of calm and control.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so we've talked about making the bed. Now, are you ready for one of Mel Robbins' more, shall we say, unconventional tips?
Oh yeah, bring it on. What is it?
It's called the high five habit. She actually suggests high-fiving yourself in the mirror after you brush your teeth.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I thought it was kind of funny at first, but then when she explained it, it made sense.
I know, it sounds a little out there, but there's a method to the madness.
Right. Think about it. Even a simple high five releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in our brains.
It's like a little shot of positivity to start the day.
Exactly. It's also a way to acknowledge yourself and celebrate your wins, even the small ones.
Like, hey, I got out of bed and brushed my teeth, go me.
Exactly. It's a way to shift from self-criticism to self-encouragement. Be your own cheerleader.
Love it. Okay, moving on to another key element of Mel Robbins' $1 million morning, unplugging in the AM.
Oh, this is a big one. She's really strict about not checking your phone first thing in the morning.
Yeah, this one can be tough for me. It's so tempting to just reach for my phone the moment I open my eyes.
I know, right? It's like second nature these days.
But think about what happens when you do that. You're instantly flooded with information, demands, and distractions.
It's like starting your day in reactive mode instead of proactive mode.
Exactly. It's so easy to get sucked into that vortex of emails, social media, and news notifications. Before you know it, you've spent an hour on your phone, feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and your entire morning routine is out the window.
And you haven't even had a chance to connect with yourself and your own intentions for the day.
So true. It's like you're letting the outside world dictate your mood and energy right from the start.
Exactly. Instead, Mel Robbins suggests reclaiming those precious morning moments by intentionally disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with yourself.
That makes so much sense. It's about protecting our attention and energy from those constant digital demands.
Yeah, creating space for clarity and focus instead of starting the day in a state of overwhelm.
So instead of being bombarded with everyone else's agenda, you're setting your own agenda for the day.
Right. And speaking of setting intentions, let's move on to the final two principles of Mel Robbins' $1 million morning movement and working on a meaningful goal.
Awesome. I'm all ears. These are two areas I'm always looking to improve in my own morning routine.
Great. Well, Mel Robbins suggests incorporating at least 10 minutes of movement into your morning routine.
Okay, I can do that. Doesn't have to be anything crazy intense, right?
Nope, not at all. It could be a brisk walk, some yoga stretches, a quick online workout video, even just dancing to your favorite music.
I've been trying to get back into running, so maybe a quick jog around the block would be a good place to start. Or maybe some yoga to kind of wake up my body and mind.
Those are both great options. The key is to find something you enjoy and that you can stick with.
True. It's got to be sustainable, right?
Absolutely. Even a small amount of movement can make a big difference in your energy levels, mood, and focus throughout the day. And remember, those 10 minutes of brisk walking could add years to your life.
Yeah, I need to keep reminding myself of that. Okay, so what about that last principle, working on a meaningful goal? Have you thought about something you could dedicate, say, 5 or 10 minutes to each morning?
Oh, absolutely. There's always something, right? What about you? What's something you've been wanting to make progress on?
So many things. I've been wanting to write a children's book for years, so maybe I could commit to writing just one paragraph each morning. Or maybe I could finally dust off that old guitar and practice a few chords.
Love those ideas. It's so exciting to think about all the possibilities, isn't it?
It is. The key, as Mel Robbins emphasizes, is to choose something that genuinely lights you up. Something that gives you that sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Exactly. It's not about achieving perfection or making huge leaps forward. It's about those small, consistent steps towards something that truly matters to you.
It reminds me of that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Perfect analogy. And sometimes those first few steps are the hardest, but once you get going, the momentum builds.
And by incorporating that progress principle into our morning routines, we're setting ourselves up for success in all areas of our lives.
It's about cultivating that sense of agency, believing in our ability to achieve our dreams.
It's like a reminder that we have the power to shape our own destinies, one small step at a time.
Exactly. And it all starts with how we choose to spend those precious morning hours.
So true. It's amazing how a few small shifts in our morning routine can have such a ripple effect, impacting not just our days, but our lives as a whole.
I think what resonates with me most about Mel Robbins' $1 Million Morning is that it's not about creating a rigid, one-size-fits-all routine.
It's about finding what works for you and building those small, positive habits that set you up for a great day.
It's about taking ownership of your mornings and using those hours to really set yourself up for success, both personally and professionally.
And it's not just about productivity, although that's definitely a benefit. It's about creating a morning ritual that nourishes your mind, body, and soul.
Think about the impact of consistently prioritizing your well-being first thing in the morning through movement, mindfulness, and doing something you love.
It's a powerful act of self-care that can transform your relationship with yourself and the world around you.
Absolutely. It's those small, consistent actions repeated day after day that create lasting change.
Mel Robbins' $1 Million Morning is essentially a framework for building those positive habits that can truly revolutionize your life.
And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
There will be days when you hit snooze, skip your workout, or reach for your phone first thing. It's okay.
What matters is that you get back on track and keep making those positive choices.
Progress, not perfection.
Right. And celebrating those wins along the way, no matter how small.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one thing you're feeling inspired to try out in your own morning routine?
Ooh, good question. I'm excited to carve out a few minutes each morning to work on a personal project that's been on the back burner for far too long.
I love that. What about you?
I think I'm going to experiment with the high five habit. It seems like a fun and easy way to start the day with a little boost of positivity. And I'm going to recommit to that 10 minutes of movement, even if it's just a quick walk.
Awesome. I think it's so inspiring to think about the potential that lies within our mornings.
Oh, yeah.
We really do have the power to shape our days and create positive change in our lives and the lives of those around us.
It all starts with how we choose to begin each day. So go out there and create a $1 Million Morning that works for you. Experiment, have fun, and embrace the power of those small, everyday choices to transform your life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
It really is. It's amazing how those small shifts in our morning routine can have such a ripple effect, impacting not just our days, but our lives as a whole.
Totally. And I think what resonates with me most about Mel Robbins' $1 Million Morning is that it's not about creating some rigid, one-size-fits-all routine.
Right. It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah. And building those small positive habits that set a good tone for the day.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of your mornings and really using those hours to set yourself up for success, both personally and professionally.
And, it's not just about productivity either, although that's definitely a nice perk.
For sure. But it's also about creating a morning ritual that really nourishes your mind, body, and soul.
I love that.
Think about it when you consistently prioritize your well-being first thing in the morning through movement, mindfulness, and doing something you love that's powerful.
It is. It's like a radical act of self-care.
Exactly. One that can totally transform your relationship with yourself and the world around you.
I'm already starting to imagine how much more energy and focus I'd have throughout the day if I really committed to this,
Right. And how that would impact your interactions with your family, your work, everything.
Totally.
It's those small, consistent actions repeated day after day that create lasting change,
Yeah. So Mel Robbins' $1 Million Morning is basically like a framework for building those positive habits that can truly, revolutionize your life.
It really is. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
Oh, for sure. There will be days when you hit snooze or skip your workout or, reach for your phone first thing in the morning.
We've all been there. It's okay.
Exactly. What matters is that you just get back on track as quickly as possible.
And keep making those positive choices.
Progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And celebrate those wins along the way, no matter how small.
Love it. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's one thing you're feeling inspired to try out in your own morning routine?
That's a good question. I think I'm going to carve out a few minutes each morning to work on a personal project that's been on the back burner for far too long.
Oh, that's great. What about you?
I think I'm going to experiment with that high five habit. Seems like a fun and easy way to start the day with a little boost of positivity. And I'm going to recommit to those 10 minutes of movement, even if it's just a quick walk.
I love it. Well, it's so inspiring to think about all the potential that lies within our mornings. We really have the power to shape our days and create positive change in our lives and the lives of those around us.
It all starts with how we choose to begin each day. So go out there and create a $1 million morning that works for you. Experiment, have fun, and embrace the power of those small, everyday choices to transform your life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.